Good Friday evening, YouTube. This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys are all doing well. We've made it. It's the weekend, and it's Memorial Day weekend for a lot of us. It's going to be a 3-day weekend. Some of you guys, the weather's going to finally clear up like it is down here in the southeast where I live. Other areas, you have a little bit of interesting weather coming your way. We're going to get into all of that real quick, so without any delay, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at the weather right now. We got a little bit of severe weather going on in the north central plains. Not expecting a whole lot out of this. This line of storms here could have a pulse severe storm here. Henceforth, why they had issued that severe thunderstorm watch earlier. And then we have this major troublemaker here, this upper level low that's been causing more and more severe weather around the northeast and around the DC area. Prompted tornado warnings all throughout the day. There was one a little bit earlier that might have been just given a chance to expire. Let's take a quick look. No, it's still there. I think it's somewhere right up in here. A little hard to see given the color of the severe thunderstorm watch and what looks to be flash flood warnings around the Washington DC, Virginia areas. But onward we move. We have two little cheeky slight risk areas right here. One that's towards the Long Island area. One hanging around the Virginia Beach and just a little bit to the west of areas like Washington, D.C. and Delaware. We'll take a quick look at tonight's risk. Just for anyone that may be watching this that is planning on going out later, just be leery of the weather. Tornado threat is mostly around the northeast, which is to be expected with that positioning of the upper level low. Wind threat is all across the board, and there's a little bit of a chance of a significant wind threat around the northern plains this evening. I think this threat will start to diminish in the coming hours, but we'll have to keep a close eye on that. And then the hail threat. Pretty much everybody has a marginal risk for some large hail. So we'll take a look at Saturday's threat. There is a slight risk already in line, and this is again for the northern plains. It's unfortunately for the same areas that are getting hit right now. We have Valentine, Pierre, and Rapid City. Mostly it's going to be northern Nebraska and most of central South Dakota that's in line for severe weather. Look at the hazard type. The tornado threat's next to minimal, but it's not zero, so keep an eye out. The hail threat is a little bit elevated, and so is the wind threat. The wind threat is actually going to be the most dominant threat here. Around the core of this slight risk, we have a potential of seeing winds greater than 65 knots within a given point. And then we also have this marginal risk up here in the northeast here. That upper level low is not quite done with you guys yet. I think this threat will linger earlier in the day, but we'll look at the radar for that. We'll look at the reflectivity model for the NAM in a minute. Now here's where things get really interesting. This is our day 3 outlook. This is Sunday. I'm a little bit concerned about this. We've kind of gone over this, and I think this is when the threat kind of shifts into all 3 hazards being possible here. We'll even take a brief read at the synopsis. But this is a bit more of a widespread area as well. We got areas as far north and east as Duluth, and we're just to the south and east of Grand Forks, Minnesota as well. But this stretches all the way down towards the Kansas-Nebraska border. McCook, you're just outside this slight risk, but Omaha and Lincoln, you are definitely in it. Minneapolis, you're in it as well. And then in the enhanced risk here, we have Sioux Falls, Norfolk in play for some significant severe weather, possibly even. And all hazards are possible here. So we'll take a brief look at the summary here. Scattered severe thunderstorms are likely over Nebraska and northeastward into Minnesota on Sunday and Sunday night. Significant severe weather, including very large hail, hurricane-force gusts, are possible with the strongest storms, as well as several tornadoes. The Cape values are expected to be at least 3,000 to maybe even 4,500 joules per kilogram. So there's also a chance for some supercells. So basically everything's on the table. So we'll have to be really watchful around the northern plains on Sunday, unfortunately. And that puts, I know this probably puts a damper on some of you guys' plans for Labor Day. Wow, Labor Day. Wrong holiday, we jumped a little too far, but Memorial Day. But I know this kind of puts a damper on your plans, especially if you're going out, planning to go out and grill. But main thing you need to do is keep an eye on the sky. Have some way to be notified if you are planning to be outdoors. And if you start to hear thunder, try to get inside and get out of there. Alright, so now we go to the models here. Let's take a look at the NAM reflectivity. Here's our upper level low here. Or here's our two areas of upper level energy. This is the main one that's causing our storms right now. And then there's another one that's on its flank here, causing a little bit more rain and disturbed weather around Maine. And we watch this move further and further off to the east. By Saturday morning, I think the greatest threat for storms is going to be like maybe right around, I'd say, early afternoon hours. Then we look towards the late evening hours, and we're watching the northern plains. Now we even see a little bit of snow on the backside for areas of Wyoming, mainly towards the higher elevations, but we can also tell how strong this storm is. We're hitting the 990 millibar mark. It's a very strong inland storm. You see those kinds of pressures normally with hurricanes. It even drops a little bit further. And get a little bit of severe weather on the backside of this as it starts to interact with more warm air. Excuse me. So we can see our line of storms popping up here. This pushes off to the north late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, in the wee hours. These storms diminish, and then once we get towards the afternoon, we start to see a line try to redevelop. But it's not going to be till later in the evening where business really starts to pick up. Once we get into the late to overnight hours, we get this really interesting looking area of storms that pops up here. That's going to have to be watched real close for any sort of severe weather, maybe even tornadic development, which I hope isn't the case, because that starts to lean towards more of a nocturnal threat. Right now, I'm not really getting much on the soundings, but we're not going to worry about those right now. We're going to wait until we're going to get a closer look at those as we get closer to the event, because we're still over 72 hours out. And then we'll have to watch Idaho late into Sunday for some heavy snow from the looks of it. Move this further forward, and the snow pushes to the south just in time for Monday morning. Thank goodness the kids are out of school, right? Get to play in some snow now without any sort of interruption, possibly. Let's take a look at now. We can take a look at the temperatures. Basically, at this point right now, pretty much everybody's feeling the heat unless you've had a storm go through today. There's a small little area where this front has, where this upper level low has come through along with this front, and the temperatures are a little bit lower. And then around the northeast, temperatures are a little bit cooler, but even then, they're warmer than everybody. Looks like they're warmer than average, to be honest. We move this along, and once we get into mid morning and early afternoon Saturday, pretty much everybody's starting to warm up, but we do see a little bit of cooling down going on in the northwest. Then as we go into Sunday morning, we get the entire eastern seaboard starting to warm up, but that cool down is starting to push its way to the east along with that front. And then by Monday, the central plains will start to experience some cooler weather. We'll have to continue to watch the northern plains for more severe weather. And pretty much, and then on top of that, even though I wasn't really going to originally talk about it, we'll look at day 4. We have yet a new enhanced risk, and this area is a little bit further south now, which is a little bit more alarming. We get, this time we get Nebraska and now Kansas in play. We got Wichita, Liberal, Garden City, Liberal and Garden City, you're just on the edge of this. You could easily end up slipping into this within the next day or so. We got Lincoln and Omaha in play, Norfolk, Sioux Falls, and some of the same areas that we've been talking about over the last couple of days in play for some more severe weather, including an enhanced risk. Once again, all hazards possible, but we'll go into detail with that in tomorrow's video. We'll take one more look here because things have really started to business has really started to pick up in the Eastern Pacific. We have a tropical cyclone that has developed, Invest 91L. This is just south of southern Mexico, and this has a 90% chance of developing within the next 48 to shoot, I can't even do my math right now, 120 hours. But the reason why I keep making such importance of it is because the track has not changed. This is expected to go through south and southwestern Mexico and then try to work its way into the Gulf, which could become a problem for the lower 48. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as well. I'm sure you're hearing about it more if you're watching anything like the Weather Channel, or sometimes depending on which state you're in, like if you're towards the Gulf Coast, you'll probably be hearing about this as well. But that's all I have for this video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, drop a like, comment, share, give me some feedback. Got a few ideas for the channel, mainly trying to make a backdrop for the intro or outro of this video. So if you got any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. But until then, I hope you guys have a good Friday night. Be safe, be responsible, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.